Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news in what could be a game-changing move for the Falcons. Sources close to the league, including notable insiders like Adam Schefter and Diana Rossini, are buzzing about a subtle but potentially blockbuster trade involving Quinn Meinerz from the Denver Broncos. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, wait, Quinn Meinerz? That guy's been solid for the Broncos. And you're right. Meinerz has been a dependable interior offensive lineman, a player who's shown he can hold his ground against some of the league's toughest pass rushers. But what makes this rumor so intriguing isn't just about adding a good player. It's about the strategic shift the Falcons could be making to bolster their offensive line and reshape their entire season outlook. Let's take a step back and analyze what's happening in Denver. The Broncos are sitting at an impressive 8-2 record, but beneath that surface there are some cracks. Their interior offensive line, despite the wins, has been somewhat leaky, allowing around 22 points per game, which isn't exactly stellar for a team with such a good record. Now, the Broncos are reportedly open to trading Meinerz in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft, with a cap hit of around $10 million. The idea here: they're eyeing a rebuild on their secondary and focusing on extending their defensive front, especially after allowing 3-5+ sacks per game and giving up big plays on third down, which has been a concern for Denver. Meanwhile, the Falcons, sitting at 5-5 and in the thick of the playoff hunt, are eyeing ways to fix their own interior line issues. After losing tight end Kyle Pitts to a concussion in Week 8, their offense has looked a little bit out of sync, missing some of the explosiveness they had earlier in the season. Adding Quinn Meinerz could be exactly what they need to create more stability up front, especially against blitz-heavy defenses. Meinerz's profile is pretty impressive. He played 10 games in 2025, logging a 95% snap share, allowing just 2 sacks all year, and earning a solid PFF grade of 85. That's consistent performance, and he's shown he can excel in both run blocking and pass protection, with run block grades around 82. And pass pro at 85. Over his career, he started over 50 games and was even selected for the Pro Bowl in 2024. His EPA per block of 0.25 and a pressures allowed of only 12 showcase a player who's reliable and effective. What makes Meinerz such a valuable piece for the Falcons is his versatility and his ability to stabilize the interior line against blitzes. His presence could bump the Falcons' run-blocking efficiency up significantly, potentially from a 78. 0 to an 88. 0 overall grade and reduce blitz success rates by roughly 12%, which is huge when you're trying to protect a young quarterback or set up a balanced attack. For Atlanta, which has been leaning heavily on their rushing attack led by Bijan Robinson, adding a power player like Meinerz could be the difference maker in moving the chains longer and keeping defenses honest. Robinson's current stats, averaging nearly 4.8 yards per carry and projected to hit around 400 rushing yards by season's end, would benefit immensely from a more stable interior line. Now, let's consider the big picture. The Falcons' offense, with the help of Meinerz, could see a boost in long drives, potentially 15% more, giving the defense some much-needed rest and reducing fatigue. That's especially crucial because Atlanta's defense, which is currently giving up around 24 points per game, would benefit from more possession time and fewer quick strikes by opponents. Their run defense against the Bucs, for example, has been particularly vulnerable, allowing over 130 rushing yards per game. The addition of Meinerz, with his zone and gap run blocking skills, would help contain those lanes and prevent big gains on the ground. On the defensive side, the potential impact isn't just about the offense. A more balanced and sustained offensive attack means less pressure on the defense to hold down scoring. Plus, Atlanta's overall team efficiency could see a bump. Imagine the Falcons improving their third down conversion rate, which currently hovers around 45%. That's a weak spot, but with better protection and more sustained drives, that percentage could drop significantly, making it easier to close out games and secure wins. It's a classic case of a move that could have ripple effects across the entire team. And if we talk about the bigger playoff picture, the addition of Quinn Meinerz could push the Falcons' Super Bowl odds from plus 5,000 to a more respectable plus 2,500, according to BetMGM's latest odds from November 12, 2025. That's a massive jump, and it speaks to how much a reliable interior lineman can influence the narrative around a team's championship potential. The Falcons, with their talented roster and now potentially strengthened offensive line, could become genuine contenders, especially if they address their vulnerabilities against blitzes and improve their run game efficiency. What's also interesting is how Meinerz's presence might help the Falcons' offensive line in specific matchups. Against edge rushers like Watt, having a sturdy, versatile interior presence could neutralize some of the most dangerous pass rushers in the league. His 88% win rate in pulls and his ability to avoid tackles for loss, averaging 15 in his career, highlight a player who's not just a stopgap, but someone who can elevate the entire unit. And considering his minimal injury history in 2025, he's a reliable option to be a cornerstone for Atlanta's offensive line for years to come. Now, from a strategic perspective, this move also signals that the Falcons are committed to building a balanced, sustainable team. They've shown they're willing to make smart, data-driven decisions, like targeting players who can provide an immediate impact while also fitting into their long-term plans. With around $22 million in cap space, they have the flexibility to absorb Meinerz's cap hit and still pursue extensions and other upgrades. This trade aligns perfectly with their current roster needs, especially after some uncertainty surrounding the interior OL, with players like Matthews being questioned lately. Looking ahead, the impact of acquiring Meinerz could be felt not just in the regular season, but also in the postseason. A more robust interior line could help the Falcons control the clock better, limit turnovers, and set up a potent play-action game with Desmond Ridder. The chemistry with Robinson in the backfield will be crucial, and with a more solid front line, Robinson's ability to break off big runs and rack up yards after contact would improve even further. The Falcons' offensive identity, which has leaned heavily on run-pass balance, could evolve into a more dominant, punishing style, something that could make them serious contenders in the NFC. And let's not forget about the potential ripple effect on the NFC South standings. If the Falcons manage to solidify their interior line and improve their overall team efficiency, they could start to run away from their division rivals. The Bucs, for example, have been struggling with their front seven, and a stronger Falcons offensive line could exploit those weaknesses. With better protection and a more balanced attack, Atlanta could pile up wins, leapfrog the Bucs and Saints, and position themselves as the team to beat in the division. The NFC South has been unpredictable this season, but if this trade goes through, it could mark the beginning of a new era of Falcons dominance. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you believe Quinn Meinerz will be the missing piece that pushes Atlanta into serious Super Bowl contention? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing him anchoring that interior line and helping Desmond Ridder and Bijan Robinson reach new heights? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons organization. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. We're in this together, and every move, every play, every decision is part of the journey toward that ultimate goal, the Lombardi Trophy. Let's keep the passion alive, Falcons fans.